What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center. And today, I'm going to be just doing some channeled messages, whatever the divine wants us to know. If you're new to my channel, I would appreciate it if you would click the like, share, and subscribe button. All the other information you need to know is in the description box below. All right, we're just going to jump straight in and see what the divine wants us all to know right now. All right, so the first cards that we have out is we have the cat, we have the Earth Fairy. This is about physical health, grounding, foundations, Earth energy. Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn energy is attached to that. So you could be a Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. You could be dealing with a Virgo, Taurus, or Capricorn in your life. You do not have to be. Take it as it resonates. We have the Raven here, which is about magic, coincidence, synchronistic events. So it's like synchronicities, serendipity, and spontaneous and random occurrences happening that you don't see coming. So a little bit of fate and destiny here. Now the cat is we have independence and healthy boundaries. We're going to have to see how all this ties in just a moment here. And then we have the dragon here at the bottom of the deck, which is all about power and strength. So I guess the dragon in this deck is very similar to the strength card in tarot. All right. Let's see what else. Let's get all of the. Let's just get the energy out on the table here. See what the divine actually wants us to know. We have communication is key. Gemini energy. Be bold, make the first move. Okay. There's more than one energy attached to that. A new romantic cycle begins. All right. And then emotions are running high. So we're going to be careful with that energy. Underneath that, we have the energy is gaining momentum. Interesting. The energy is gaining momentum, and we have emotions are running high. Obviously, this is tied to the romantic cycle that's beginning here. So without getting too far into hold on one second here. All right. Okay, I just needed to get my thoughts straight here. Okay, so basically, there's a few different groups of people here that this could apply to. So again, take it as it resonates. If it's not your reading, then it's not your reading. Then okay, nope, it either is or it isn't. So many of you, let's start here with the be bold and make the first move, because I said there's two energies attached to this. Now, for some of you, this has to do obviously with romance. I'm going to say that this reading, 90% of this reading is a relationship reading. Okay, so most of this reading so far is based on love and romance. Okay, that might help those of you that are like, okay, well, what is this, right? And obviously, I don't know because I didn't know until the cards came out what this was going to be. So, now for the remaining like 10 or 20% of you that this isn't romance, be bold, make the first move. This is talking about your dreams, your goals, your purpose in life. So if you've been sitting on the sidelines, you've been thinking about starting a business, you've been thinking about making a career change, you've been thinking about moving, you've been thinking about anything having to do with starting something, beginning something, or going for something, stepping out of your comfort zone and just going for it, shooting the shot, right? That's what this energy pertains to, okay? So that's for that group of people. Now, we have power and strength here, which is also going to tie to the group of people that I was just referring to. I'm trying to like, I apologize if I seem a little scattered, but it's because I'm trying to compartmentalize the energies and separate them in like, okay, who is, because again, there's like there's two groups of people here. So there's like those of you that are relationship focused, tons of energy about relationships here. But then there's those of you that may not be relationship focused. You're more like career, money, finance, your purpose in life, your passion in life, or the direction where am I moving with my life? Like your direction in life. That would be like the second group of people. So, and both are here. So I'm trying to do my best to acknowledge the two groups separately and independently of each other because they're both present here. So let's start with those of you. Let's start with the non-romantic people because the rest of this stuff is probably going to be love and romance. That's very obvious here. So those of you, you're focused on money, career, you're focused on your purpose in life, you're focused on, your direction. You're not watching this reading for love and romance, right? Well, the divine is saying that it's going to require what you're going to have to do, what's coming up for you. There's opportunities available to you, but what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to tap into your power and strength, and you're going to have to be the one to make the first move. You're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, and you're going to have to go for the thing that you want. And you're not going to, what the divine is saying is don't worry about if it's the right thing, if it's the wrong thing. Because a lot of you guys, the reason that you're afraid to make the first move here is because you're not 100% sure. And that's okay. It's okay if you're not 100% sure that that this is the thing that you're going to do the rest of your life and all blah, 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 blah. Like, it's okay. Because, there's few absolutes in this life, in this world, but change. Change is one of the only absolutes that we can count on. There's few absolutes in this world, and change is one of them. So whatever you decide, whatever you choose now, it might change down the road. It could change down the road. So instead of wondering if this is going to be the thing that's going to like last forever and you're going to do this till the day you die, that's the wrong mentality to have about this. Because a lot of times, especially in my life, and I'm sure in the life of many other people, I can tell you that the things that I thought were supposed to be what I was supposed to do, and this is the path I was going to go on, or whatever the case may be, that's not how life unfolded. There's a lot of surprises. I didn't end up doing a lot of the things that I thought that I was supposed to do, but then I did a lot of other things that I didn't think that I ever could do. I surprised myself in a lot of ways. So my whole life has been a bunch of unexpecteds, A lot of unexpecteds. I would say 90% of my life, 95% of my life. Yeah, I'm going to go with 95% of my life has been unexpected. And so you don't have to know, like, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to commit to this thing. I'm going to be with this person. I'm going to commit to this person. And that's it forever, forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. That's just not realistic. That's not how life is. You know, when you like, for example, when it comes to relationships, when you meet somebody and you fall in love with that person and you and that person choose each other and you have a relationship, well, you're in a relationship until you're not. And if you're supposed to be with that person for the rest of your life until the day you die, then you will be. Or you won't. But instead of obsessing over it, which doesn't make sense, just be okay with the decision and choice that you're making right now, even if you're not sure that this is the end all be all, because you may not know. And the way that we find out, a lot of times, the way that we find out what we really want in life is by just living life and experimenting, right? It's like, okay, well, how do you know you want to spend the rest of your life with one person versus another person? Well, you may not. You may have to date a bunch of people to figure out what it is that you want. I'd be okay with the fact that maybe I have to date a bunch of people to figure out what it is that I really want. Some people don't have to do that. Some people, they meet somebody and they just know. They fall in love with their high school sweetheart or their college sweetheart or whatever. And they know that they know that they know that they know they're going to end up with that person. And then they marry that person and they do. And they spend the rest of their life together. It's a fairy tale fucking story, right? Like, some people have that. Some people don't. So you'll know who you are within your own story. But you have to be true to yourself. You honor yourself and you have to honor your decisions and you have to be okay with the experiences that you're having, because you are the leader of your own life. You are the ruler of your own life. Nobody else is going to make those decisions for you, right? At the end of the day, your life is your responsibility. You were given free will to decide and choose to be whoever you want to be, date who you want to date, marry who you want to marry, pursue what career you want to pursue. Your life is your life, and it's up to you to decide what you want. And that's really what this is saying here. It's saying, hey, whatever it is that you want coming up in the near future, you're going to have to be bold and make the first move. In other words, you can't sit idly waiting for life to happen for you. You can't wait for the opportunities to come to you. If you know what you want, or you have an idea that you know what you want, even if it's not crystal clear, again, you don't have to know 100%. For example, you could just know, I want more than what I've had. I know that I don't want to just keep living the same way every single day, and the Groundhog's Day, the rat race, the mundane, every day is the same. Nothing's really changing in my life. Well, this is saying, okay, cool. So maybe you don't have a crystal clear blueprint or idea about exactly what you want, but you just know you want different than what you have. That's fine. That's fine. You can just be there. You can be in a place of, I don't know if I want this job or this person or this or that. I don't know if I want to stay here, I want to move there. You can be uncertain about the big picture of your life. Give yourself permission to be uncertain about the big picture of your life. You can know just enough. You can know just enough to say, I want something different than what I have right now. I want something different than what I have right now. Even if I'm not sure exactly what that is, where it's going to take me, what it's going to look like. But I just know that right now I'm uncontent, I'm unfulfilled, and there's something inside of me that's like, I want something, right? A lot, sometimes like, I don't know, maybe you guys can relate to this. You have a craving. You ever have a craving for something and you can't quite put your finger on what it is? You're like, I don't know. Do I want pizza? Do I want sushi? Do I want Italian? Do I want a steak? Like you're going through your mind, like you're like, oh man, it's like you're thinking about it. It's like, well, this is, man, that sounds really good, but this sounds really good too. But then that sounds really good. Like you start thinking about all these different things that you might have a craving for, but you're trying to find the one that sticks out to you most. It's like, what's the thing that I really want? Because there's a lot of things that sound good right now, but what's the thing? There's a craving inside of me that wants something specific. And even though all these options sound really good, there's something, and I can't quite put my finger on it, right? It's like, okay, well, you may not know. In your life, you may not be able to put your finger on the exact thing that your life is craving, that your spirit is craving out of life. And that's okay. So just be okay with the fact that I'm craving for something more, but in order for me to even begin the process of identifying what it is, again, you're going to have to make the first move. It's not going to be revealed to you. It's not going to come to you. This thing is not, you're going to have to utilize your power, your courage, your strength, and you're going to have to make the first move here. All right. Now, group number 2, that was group number 1. Group number 2, all about relationships. Most of the rest of this stuff has to do with relationships. For the most part, this is a relationship reading. I'm just going to keep it real. But there was that, again, that 10 or 20% of you that aren't here for relationships, that are just like, you're obsessively thinking and thinking, I'm going to fuck my life up. I'm going to screw up if I'm going to make the wrong decision, or I'm not sure what I want. And the divine is just saying, look, man, just step in a direction that feels like the closest thing that feels good. Just step in a direction that feels good. If it feels good to move in this direction, even if that direction isn't crystal clear, then just go in that direction, right? Like, just trust your intuition. It's like, well, does this feel better or does that feel better? Which one, out of all the decisions and choices that you can make, what decision and choice feels the best? That's the one that you go with. Just follow that. This is the one that I think feels the best. I'm not 100% sure, but that's okay, because that's not what we're looking for. We're not looking for 100% certainty here. All right, so that's for you guys. That's group number 1. Now, group number 2, let's talk about you guys. All right, relationships. So what you guys are being called to do here is there is an opportunity here for you guys to meet somebody new. Or rekindle something with somebody from your past. So the energy that's available right now is really a free-for-all. So if you want new love, this is a come and get it. It's here if you want it. Now this is a I don't know how long this energy is going to be here, guys. It's here right now. It's like a pocket, a window. It's opening, an opening. I don't know how long it's going to be here. I don't know if it's going to be here for 2 weeks, 1 week, 3 days, 3 months, the rest of the year. I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's here right now. So for those of you that find this message and you're wanting to know about relationships has been a priority for you, well, you're lucky. You're lucky that you found this message. Not because of me, but just because you found the message, and now you'll have more information than you had if you hadn't found this message, regardless of whether it was me or some other person out on the YouTube land, right? So here's the deal. whether you're looking for somebody new or whether you're dealing with somebody from the past, it doesn't matter. There is an opportunity for a new cycle. And it makes sense because technically this is a 9 universal year. 2025, you add it up, reduce it down to a single digit, it's the number 9. I've talked about this since January on my channel, maybe a little before that, which is all about endings and new beginnings. So technically, for those of you that this is new, great. This is brand new person, brand new love opportunity. Now, for those of you that this is a past person, then this is a fresh start, meaning that the past is the past, whatever happened back then, that chapter, that phase is done, it's over, it's closed out, and you'll have an opportunity to have a new beginning with a past person. Now, that's what this energy is here. The new romantic cycle begins. So the cat. All right, let's start here with the cat energy. Now, the cat is all about, the energy here is all about you guys learning from your past mistakes, for those of you that this resonates with, and realizing that you need to have your own autonomy. You need to be your own person. You can no longer lose yourself in your relationships. You can't lose yourself in your romantic partnerships. You can never afford to allow that to happen again. You can't, your codependency issues, your attachment issues, whether you're anxious, whether you're avoidant, whatever the hell, right? Like, this is all about, the cat is learning how to be healthy and independent, meaning separate from the people that you're romantically invested in, meaning attachment. You have to learn the art of detachment, meaning, hey, I can love you endlessly. I can love you with all of my heart, all of my soul, every fiber of my being for the rest of my life. But what I can't do is I can't rely upon you as my source of fulfillment. That's my job. Spirituality 101. And this applies to everything in our life in regards to fulfillment. So anytime that we're seeking for any type of fulfillment or satisfaction outside of ourselves, we're fucked. That's the matrix. That's the bullshit lie that we've all been led to believe is, oh my gosh, either job, success, looks, money, wealth, relationships, whatever the hell, that's what's going to make me feel happy, whole, and successful, and desirable, and good enough, and all that. That's not true. We have to find that inside of ourselves. So what the divine is saying, for those of you that can learn this and embrace this and live by this truth, then you'll do well. Like this will be a productive and blessed period for you in terms of your relationships. Now, obviously, this isn't about doing anything perfect. We're all human. No one's going to do anything perfect, but at least 80% of the time, 90% of the time, you've got this down. Meaning you're not relying on another human being for your happiness. You're not searching, seeking, longing. You're not, you're not desperate, but you're also not in fear and scarcity. You don't have your walls up. You're not pissed off and angry, bitter, resentful about the past and people in your past who've hurt you and screwed you over, and all women are this and all men are that, or whatever the stories are. Like, this is you being a healed person who understands, hey, it's, happiness is an inside job. It's up to me to make myself happy. It's up to me to provide myself with fulfillment, a sense of meaning, a sense of purpose. It's up to me to meet my needs, my most important needs. I'm going to have to rely upon myself to meet those needs. And I'm lucky and I'm blessed if I find somebody out of the 8 billion people that are apparently alive on this planet at this time, if I find one person out of 8 billion people, which is probable, which is likely, then whatever they add to my life is just a bonus, right? And that's what we should be looking for. We should be looking for a partner who adds additional value to the value we are already providing ourselves. Let me say that again. We should be looking for a partner who adds additional value, keyword, to the value that we are already giving ourselves. Meaning, hey, before this person came into my life, I was good. I had me, I was taking care of me, was providing for me, I was happy, I was content, I was fulfilled, my life has meaning, my life has purpose, and I'm just looking for that additional, that extra bit of spice, that additional thing that can complement my life. It's not going to make me whole, it's not going to complete me, it's not all that Disney fairy tale bullshit. My life is already complete. I've already got a mission, I've got a purpose, I know I am here, I'm living my life, I'm living my purpose, I'm meeting my needs. I am a whole human being independently of anyone or anything else. And that's why we like a cat, you know? Cats don't need anything. They don't need anyone. You know, they're hyper independent, right? But that doesn't mean that cats aren't relational creatures. That's not true at all. Cats are very relational creatures, but not at the expense of themselves. That's the difference. Cats aren't codependent. They're not needy. You know, they're not attached. They're not like dogs. Dogs are the opposite. Dogs are very attached. They're hyper attached, right? Like, you know, dogs are just up your ass all the time. Most dogs, not all, but most are like that. They're very needy. They're very attached, you know. Cats are different. And so what we're being called to do is to be more like cats, be more autonomous, more independent, more capable of us realizing and meeting our own needs so that we're not placing that responsibility or those expectations on somebody else when it's not their job to make us whole, complete, or fulfilled or happy. And that's the only, in my opinion, that's one of the only ways that we'll ever really know if we're choosing the right partner to begin with. Right? Because when you're choosing somebody that you're trying to get something from, then your vision is already construed. Like you're not seeing clearly already, because it's like, oh, well, I'm choosing this person because I need them to meet these needs and all these things. It's like, well, you're already not seeing them clearly. You will see them clearly if you don't need anything from them. If you don't need anything from somebody, you're completely providing for yourself, you're meeting your needs, you have a mission and a purpose in your life, you're not codependent, but you're also not avoidant. You know, you're just like, hey, I'm a healthy, whole, independent human being that's open for the divine to bring me love and romance and partnership. As here's the key, as an addition to the life that I'm already living. It's just an addition, it's an add-on. That's a totally different, that person's going to have a totally different perception and clarity about the people that come into their life, because they're going to be able to look at that person and evaluate them based on sobriety, like clarity, mental sobriety, going, I don't need you for anything, right? Whereas the person who's looking for relationships to complete them those are the people who get screwed over because you're wearing the rose-colored glasses. You're looking for somebody outside of you to fall in love with, to give you these feelings and emotions and a sense of security and good enough and all those things, right? You're looking for something outside of yourself to complete you. And so you're always going to be screwing yourself over because you're always going to have those rose-colored glasses on. You're not going to see the person for who they really are. And so you're going to miss the red flags. You're going to make bad choices. You're not going to, you're not going to align yourself. You're not going to be able to see and know intuitively if this person is really the right person for you. Whereas the other person who doesn't need anything from anybody, they're going to see that person clearly. It's like, okay, well, no, you're not really in alignment with me because there's nothing about you that's going to add anything. You're not going to add any value to my life. Or somebody will come and it's like, wow, look at you. You're like me. You have your shit together. You have your life in order. You don't need anything from anybody. You're living life on your own terms. You're standing in your power. You're independent. You're not needy. And now it's like you realize, okay, now I found someone who is an equal. And so now you start to communicate. Okay, I'm going to get to know you now because now I know that I've met my match. And then as you get to know that person, you start to peel back the layers of the onion and you go deeper and then you find out, okay, well, what are you about? What are you not about? What do you value? What do you not value? What do you want out of life? What's the vision for your future? What's the vision for your relationship? What would your ideal romantic relationship be like moving forward? And you start to have conversations. You ask questions. You get to know this person on a heart and soul level, not just a superficial level. And, you find, okay, well, cool. Actually, this person sounds like, they would actually add value to my life. Like we're actually compatible. There's enough similarities here. There's enough things that we have in common, but there's enough things that are different. You get the big picture, right? And so that would be the person that would be a green light for you, right? So the cat energy, again, is all about us learning how to find fulfillment and wholeness inside of ourselves, just like a cat. Cats are not needy. They're not dependent. They are creatures. I mean, they are independent creatures, fiercely independent, even though they can be very relational, right? So it's just not putting the cart before the horse. We have to find fulfillment within ourselves before we start looking for fulfillment in somebody else. Now, the Earth Fairy. I said at the beginning of the reading, you could be dealing with Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn. That energy is here. That's true. It may relate to you. It may not. It doesn't matter. But this is all about you finding a sense of being grounded within yourself, again, so you're not dependent and reliant upon something outside of you for your fulfillment. That's what grounding means. You've grounded yourself inside of yourself. You're finding fulfillment inside of yourself. But this is also you having the important things in your life taken care of. Because let's just be real. Do you want to find somebody who's broke, who's poor, who's unhealthy, who's 500 pounds overweight? They're too tired, or they're too fat, or they're too this, or they're too that they can't enjoy life? You want to go out, you want to have fun, you just want to experience life, even if you're not like hyper adventurous, even if you're a homebody, if you're in an intimate relationship, I mean, I'm assuming that at the very least you want somebody who's healthy enough to have sex with you, right? Like, his dick works, my stuff works, as one of my lady parts work. Like there's sexual chemistry here, there's passion. Like, you don't want somebody who's so unhealthy, or it's like, my God, you're going to have a heart attack. Just walking up the stairs, you live in a house, you have a 2-story house, you walk up the stairs. Are they going to have a heart attack? You know what I'm saying? Like, this is about having all that stuff, you know, in order. Pentacles, earth energy is anything in the tangible world. It's not just money. That's a part of it. It's your health. It's anything in the tangible world. So, what's your credit score? Do you have, what's your debt look like? What does your money situation look like? What does your health look like? What is your job situation look like? Like, if you're being completely honest with yourself and you take inventory of your life, is your life a shit show? Or is your life, hey, you know what? I have my shit together. And again, it's not about being perfect, but you do have to be honest, right? Because if you're dishonest, you're not lying to anybody but yourself. You're not lying to me. I mean, you might be able to lie to a potential romantic partner that comes into your life, but that's not going to last very long, because eventually they're going to see through the bullshit. The truth's going to come to light. It always does. So why would you want to lie to yourself? Why do you want to be dishonest with yourself? You lying to yourself about the reality of the life that you're living is only just going to hurt you more, and it's going to keep you further away from the things that you desire. And I know a lot of people are like, well, my life is so fucked up that I don't want to look at it, because when I look at it, I feel shame, I feel guilty, or I just feel overwhelmed, and blah, 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 blah. And I say, I get that. I understand. I understand that your life can be so messy and so chaotic at times that you want to escape it. You don't want to look at it because it feels too overwhelming or too painful. I get it. I've been there. But you can't escape the reality that you're in forever. At some point, you're going to have to look at it, or the universe is going to force you to look at it. It's going to go one way or the other. And what I've found is that it's always easier when I'm willing to take responsibility for my life when it's messy, instead of having to wait for the divine to come and kick my ass because I don't want to look at it. It's always easier, guys. It's always, 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 always easier to take responsibility, to take your power, to take your life into your hands and say, okay, I'm going to take control of my life, and I'm going to just start doing whatever I can do with whatever I have to start making changes, clean things up, get things buckled down, and figure this shit out. And maybe you only have enough mental resources, time, energy, and resources, whatever. Maybe you're just in a position where it's like you can only focus on one thing. Well, that's better than nothing. Anything is better than nothing. Okay? Anything's better than nothing. So again, it's not about perfection. It's not about overwhelming yourself with all the things. Just pick one fucking thing. What's one thing in my life that I can start working on to make an improvement? And when you start making an improvement in that area of your life, it's going to motivate you, because you're going to see progress, you're going to get results, you're going to experience growth, and that's going to motivate you and be like, oh my God, now, I want to continue to make progress in other areas of my life. And see, people underestimate, the compound interest that affects our lives. Like, when you start making a change, it's like compound interest. You're making an investment in something that you don't see the instantaneous, immediate results in necessarily. But it's compound interest, meaning it grows over time. And so don't underestimate the delayed effect of the investment that you're putting into whatever area of your life you're trying to improve. You just stay at it. And you don't get hyper fixated on whether you're doing it perfect or not. You let that shit go. You just wake up today and you say, hey, I'm going to just do this today. Just do this today. Whether you can give an inch, whether you can give a mile, whether you can give this much, whether you can give that much, whether you can go for 5 minutes, whether you can go for 5 hours, it doesn't matter. Just make improvements, right? That's it. That's all you have to focus on. It's just more than if you had done nothing, right? Like that's it. That's all you're competing against is nothing. Like anything, any amount that you give, that's more than nothing. Just do more than nothing. That's not hard. You're competing against the lowest possible level of anything. Because that's it. There's either you do nothing at all or you do something. So as long as you're just doing something, that means you're doing more than nothing. And that's all the divine is saying. So just get your life in order. Be the person that you would want to have in your life. Right? Think about the person that you want romantically. Do you want them to have good credit? Do you want them to be in good physical shape? Do you want them to have a job? Do you want them to have a car? Do you want them to have, money in their bank account? I mean, they don't have to be a billionaire or a millionaire, but do you want them to be like have enough money to where it's like, hey, I'd like to have a guy who takes me out on a date and it's not, he's not a penny pincher. Like whether we go out to the food truck and we get $10 tacos, or whether he takes me out to $100 steakhouse, right? Like he's good. He makes enough money to do either one. Well, you have to be that person too. You have to be the person that you want to attract into your life. That's what this fairy energy is talking about, the earth energy. You can't be a hypocrite. You can't say, well, I want somebody who's in shape. They have this much money, they have good credit, and they have a house, they have a car, and they're going to, they're smart, they're intellectual, they're not boring, they're funny, but they're spiritual, but yet they also, they're emotionally vulnerable and available. They're emotionally available. They're over their exes. Like, come on. You guys know what your fucking lists are. You know what all your lists in your head is that you go through about your expectations for your ideal partner. Well, how many of those expectations on that list do you check off? Like if that list is turned around on you, are you going to pass that test? Or are you going to get checks on those boxes? Like, yeah, I have that to offer. I have that to offer. Yep, I'm good on that. I'm good on that too. Like most people want things that they themselves don't have to provide, which means that they're a liar, which means that they're a hypocrite. Right? And that's what this energy is here saying, is that you cannot be a hypocrite. Again, you can lie to yourself all you want, but you can't lie to the divine. The divine knows if you're ready for the thing that you really want or not. So if you want the thing that you really want, then you're going to have to prove it by becoming that thing yourself. That's how it works with this. Now, again, that's for those of you that want the real thing. Now, for those of you who are desperate and you don't give a shit whether you get the real thing or not, and you're like, look, I don't give a fuck. Just give me somebody. Just give me love, romance, relationship. I'll take anything. Then this message isn't for you. This message doesn't apply to you. Because you can only attract who you are. That's it. What you want can be infinitely different. We can want whatever. I can sit here all day and go, well, you know, what do I want? Well, I want Kate Beckinsale. She's kind of like my celebrity crush. I'm sitting here all day long. I want fucking Kate Beckinsale. It's like, well, you can want Kate Beckinsale all you want. She's not gonna manifest. She's not gonna come knock on your door. You're probably not gonna end up with her. And it is what it is. You can want all you want. Wanting something doesn't entitle you to having it, or nor does it mean you're going to get it. I'm not an A-list celebrity person with millions of dollars. Like even if I met Kate Beckinsale, let's just pretend she was single and I bumped into her, and let's say that she gave me the time of day. She's like, wow, like, I don't know, we just met somewhere and we struck up a conversation, and conversation is going good, and turns out we have a lot of things in common and stuff. Well, at the end of the day, when she starts asking me questions about, well, what do you do? What's your lifestyle? Like when it gets down to the nitty gritty, it's like, I'm not, I haven't made, A-list celebrity movies. I don't have millions of dollars in my fucking bank account. I don't know what that lifestyle is like, and she's a woman. So she, that's the world she lives in. She lives in the world of celebrities and Hollywood and millions of dollars in her bank account. Like, she's used to a lifestyle. She's used to a standard of living. She's used to having being around certain people and having certain access to certain things and certain freedoms. Like she's in a total different world than the world that I'm in. It's unrelatable. So it'd be insanity for me to think that a woman like that would lower her standard. And it's not that she's better than me per se, but just from a logical standpoint, for her to want to try to create a relationship with somebody who doesn't understand the world that she exists in. I'm not in that world. I have no fucking clue what it's like to live in that world, to be in that industry. I can't relate to it. And so while some people would maybe judge that and say, well, but that's superficial, like it shouldn't matter if she's a celebrity and she has millions of dollars in her bank account or not, like you're still a human. And I get that argument. I understand I get it. Like, sure, technically in a perfect fucking universe, yeah, we would all think like that. But that's not reality. Reality is that we do look at better than, less than. We do make judgments. We do have standards for things, and we do put ourselves at certain levels. And don't lie to me and say that you don't either, because I guarantee you that there's probably somebody who would be interested in you that's beneath you. You would judge them as being beneath you, like a homeless person. If you met a homeless person, they're like, man, you're fucking gorgeous. You're amazing. You're beautiful. I'd date you. But you're like, but you're homeless. I have a job. I have children. I make a paycheck. I own a car. I own a house. You're homeless, right? Does it matter to you that the homeless person thinks that you're gorgeous and beautiful and great and amazing and this, that, and the other when they're homeless? No, you wouldn't be attracted to that, right? So we can judge other people that, might quote unquote be higher than we are per se in the sociological hierarchy of things. And trust me, I get it. I know it's bullshit. Like at the end of the day, we're all we're all one. We're all spirits, and we all come from the same source. No one is better than anybody else. But down here on planet Earth, where we are in the bullshit and we're dealing with the fucking matrix and the programming, sure, unfortunately, we have to deal with the superficial realm of bullshit that comes with it, which means that some people, yeah, it's like the celebrities, they live in celebrity land. Us normal people, we live in normal people land. And then you have, then you get the homeless people and they live in homeless people land. Right? So all this to say with this energy here, and there's a reason that I'm camping out on this, because a lot of you guys that are, again, there's a new romantic cycle that's beginning here, but for some of you, you're going to miss out on this romantic cycle, whether it's a new person or whether it's with a past person, because you don't have your shit in order. That's the bottom line here with this card, with this energy, which is why it's out on the table. You don't have the practical, everyday, just the practical things in order. Your money's not in order. Your health is not in order. Your life isn't in order. Like, that's what this is saying. It's like, you have to get your shit together. If you want true love, I'm not talking about a fling. You don't have, your life can be chaos, can be a shit show to find a fling, to find passion, to have great sex, whatever. So, and again, I'm not here to tell you guys what you're looking for. I'm just here to be the messenger of what's on the table. And what's on the table is, for those of you, you're looking for a committed relationship with a long-term romantic partner. You're looking for a forever person. Now, for those of you that are not looking for a forever person, then you can probably click off this video now. This video is probably not for you. No problem. Come back and, the next time I post something, and see if maybe the next video is for you. I don't know. But for those of you that are looking for a long-term partner, then this video is for you. I'm speaking to you. And what the divine is saying is that in order for you to be ready for the long-term person that you're desiring, is you have to get your shit together. You got to get your health together. And again, doesn't mean be perfect, but it just means like, okay, let's just be realistic. Am I overweight? Am I out of shape? And, do I need to clean up my lifestyle some? Do I need to start taking care of myself more? Like, am I letting myself go? Am I am I cutting my fingernails and getting my hair, getting my hair cut when I need to, like, do I wear deodorant? Like, do I brush my teeth? Do I go to the dentist, once or twice a year? Like, typical normal hygiene and shit, or do I just come home and I just sit around and eat Cheetos in bed all night and drink fucking Diet Coke, and I just don't give a shit, don't care, take care of myself. I shower once a week, maybe. Like, you guys know your habits, right? Maybe you have some other habits, It's like, well, maybe you smoke like a dragon, right? You smoke a pack of cigarettes a day. And, well, that's kind of gross. Nobody wants to make out with a pack of cigarettes in your mouth. Like, it's gross. I've been with women who smoked before, very attractive women, and there's nothing more disgusting than, making out, and then you feel like you're kissing an ashtray, right? It's just gross. So you guys know what needs to change in your life, because you can't have an expectation for something or someone that you yourselves are not already embodying those traits or qualities. So if you're not in shape, you don't have good money, you don't have good credit, you don't have a house, you don't have a this or you don't have a that, then you have no right or no business to expect somebody else to come into your life who's going to provide you that. You have to be the thing that you want to attract. That's what this is saying, okay? All right, the next card is the Raven, which was all about the magic, coincidence, and synchronicity and serendipity. So, for those of you that are doing the work, you're going to take this serious. You're like, hey, you know what? I'll do whatever it takes. But I'm gonna listen to the divine, right? I'm gonna learn to love me, the cat energy, be independent, learn to focus on myself, not search for fulfillment outside of myself. I'm gonna find fulfillment here inside of me. I'm gonna get my life in order. I'm gonna get my shit together, and I'm gonna own my power, take responsibility, the power and strength here, and not miss out on opportunities, which is be bold and make the first move. That energy basically meaning I'm not just going to sit around and just wait for everything to fall into my lap. That's not how life works. I'm willing to take action when I need to take action. If I have to make the first move, then I'll make the first move. If I have to take a leap of faith, I'll take the leap of faith. Whatever. I'll do whatever it takes. That's what this is saying. I'll do whatever it takes. Then if you're willing to do whatever it takes, the divine is saying with the Raven energy here that you're ready. Meaning the signs, the synchronicities, the divine appointments, the divine setups, all that shit's gonna happen. The person, either the new person, you're gonna meet this person divinely, synchronistically. They're gonna show up in your life because you will have manifested them. Or if it's somebody from your past, because you have changed, then you will have manifested a new version of them. So it's going to be one or the other. Now, I suspect that this is going to be a very low percentage of people, though, because, historically speaking, and this isn't me trying to sound pessimistic or like an asshole, but I just got to keep it real. When I'm not out here on YouTube land, I help people as a coach, relationship, and a spiritual advisor, helping people figure out what their purpose is, what the meaning and purpose of their life is, helping people through their dark nights of the soul, and helping people with their relationships, whether they're single, whether they're married, whatever. And as somebody who deals with people all the time, the number one problem that I see with people is either their willingness to do what it takes to get a result, or their unwillingness to do what it takes to get a result. And unfortunately, 80 to 90% of the time, most people are not willing to do what it takes to get a change. They'd rather be a victim. They'd rather complain. They'd rather just stay in their comfort zone. Most people are not willing to do whatever it takes to get the result that they want. So it is what it is. But for the 10% of people that do, they're the ones that get the results. So this reading, hopefully, I'll be shown wrong. I don't know. Only you guys will know. But hopefully you guys will be that top 10% that's like, I'm not just going to hear this message. I'm not just going to evaluate my life and go, okay, yeah, I want love. I know I should change. I know I need to do this. I know I need to do that. I know this blah, 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 blah. But I'm just going to listen to this message and I'm going to go right back to doing the same fucking things that I was doing before. Right? That's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing and expecting a different result. Which you have free will and you can do whatever you want. And if you're happy with that decision, with that choice for your life, then I'm not here to judge. And who else? It's your life. You have free will. Like, yeah, I want to stay in the same place, right where I am, doing the same thing, wishing and hoping, crossing my fingers that maybe one day somebody will come along Maybe I'll get love, maybe I won't, I don't know. But that's not who this message is for. So if you're one of those people, you could probably just click off this message now if you got this far, because this isn't for you. This message is for those of you that are like, no, this resonates. I know that I need to make some changes. I'm going to make those changes. It's not about perfection. I'm just going to focus on what I can control. But, I'm going to take my life by the balls because it's my life and nobody else is going to live it for me. So I may as well take my life by the balls and live it myself. Because the life that you're living was the life that you were given. I wasn't given your life. You weren't given my life. Your life is your responsibility. My life is my responsibility. Your happiness is your job. My happiness is my job. It's insanity for us to expect anything different. It's insanity for you to expect something or someone outside of you to provide you fulfillment. Your fulfillment is your job, like my fulfillment is my job. And so if I'm not fulfilled with the life that I'm living, I can't blame it on you. I can't blame it on YouTube. I can't blame it on my corporate job. I can't blame it on anything. I can't blame it on my parents. I have to blame it on me. So if you're not happy, Eddie, if you're not fulfilled with the life that you're living, who has the power to change that? Who's given you the freedom and the power to change that? Well, obviously the divine's given me the power to change that. So whose hands does that responsibility lie within? Well, mine. That's what this is all about. So once this occurs, so this is like the foundation, right? We've talked about being independent, not seeking fulfillment outside of ourselves, learning how to find our own fulfillment within ourselves. We've talked about getting our life together, not expecting other people to provide things that we ourselves are not providing, like not being hypocrites here. And if we can do these two things, then we will get this thing here, which is basically the divine doing its part, saying, hey, I will go out and play matchmaker for you. I will find the person that is the best match for you because you are doing these two things. And when you take control and power over your life, you take authority over your life, then the divine's saying, I will bring you the person that's right for you. I will be divine matchmaker for you. You won't have to worry about that. I will bring you the exact perfect person that is exactly in alignment with the person that you've become and the life that you're living. Somebody that adds additional value to your life. Keywords again, right? Now, communication is key. When you meet this person, whether they're new or whether they're somebody from the past, it's going to be very important for you guys to not just talk. A lot of people think communication is just saying words and you hearing said words. That's not communication. Communication is intent, it's motive, it's vision, it's meaning. Like people say shit all the time that has no motive, it has no intention, it has no meaning, there's no purpose in it. It's just empty words, just sounds coming out of people's mouths that aren't attached to anything. We could almost call it verbal waste. It's just nothing. Sounds. Useless, meaningless conversation. Now, am I saying that every time a human being speaks that there has to be some kind of deep, profound? No, it's not what I'm saying. It's perfectly okay to go out and have a pointless, useless, meaningless conversation at times. There's a time and place for that. You go out, you just, whatever. You're hanging out with your friends or family or your partner, your spouse, you're shooting the shit, you're just whatever. It doesn't always have to be some deep, profound thing. That's not what I'm talking about here, though. Here, this is about you having clarity about what you want and what you don't want, and being able to communicate that in a way that another human being understands where you're coming from. Like, oh, this is what you want. This is what you don't want. This is what you'll tolerate. This is what you won't tolerate. I say what I mean what I say. I'm consistent and I follow through. There's no guessing games here. I'm not playing games. There's nothing to figure out. There's no guessing here. There's no drama. There's no gossip. There's no bullshit. It is what it is. I say what I mean what I say. And that's what it is. Right? Now, this energy will apply mostly for those of you that are dealing with somebody from your past. So it's like 90-10. 90% of you, this will be in regards to a past person. 10% of you, this will be like a new person. Where you're just, you're no bullshit. It's like, hey, look, I've done the work. I've been through too much shit. I know what I want. I'm too old. I'm just, look, bam, 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 bam. You're either you either get it or you don't get it. You're either on or you're out, right? Like it's like that cut and dry for some of you, right? And that's okay. Like if you really fucking know what you want, and you don't have even 5 extra seconds for anything for somebody that doesn't know, like it's like you're either in alignment with it or you're not, period. And I'm not going to stick around for too long for you to figure out that you are or that you're not. Right? Some of you guys are you're hyper focused in that regard. You'll know that this is what you're looking for, this is what you want, and you're locked in, and you're not going to say yes to anything that can't be locked in with you in that regard. And that's okay. There's no right or wrong with that. That's okay. Okay? Cool. But I'm not talking to you guys. You guys are good. You guys will, again, that person will either match it or they won't. So I'm not worried about you guys. And this message isn't really applying to you guys. This is for the rest of you guys. The other 90% of you. Somebody's going to come back from your past that you have, you have history with. And because you have history with this person may not completely realize all the changes, that you've made. They may not realize that, hey, I'm a different human being now. I'm not the same person that I was when we were together before. So, I'm just warning you. Here are my boundaries. Like, it's going to be up to you to communicate and reveal to them how you've changed and kind of how things are going to be different. Now, that could be a direct conversation or that can be a subtle indirect conversation. I don't know. I can't tell you what to say or how to approach, that conversation. Everybody's different. Everybody's relationship is different. But what I can tell you is that it's about you knowing enough about yourself, about you knowing about what changes you've made within yourself, and you knowing about that other person, you knowing what happened in the past with that person, why it didn't work out before with that person, and taking all that information and the entirety of that information and stepping back and going, okay, I've got all this information, all this knowledge, and all this stuff. So with that information in mind, what's going to be different this time? And you have to know that within yourself before they show up, ideally. Because if you wait to figure this out when this person from your past shows up, then this will probably happen. Your emotions are going to run high. And what happens when your emotions run high, you start to make irrational, emotionally based decisions. You get in your head, and then you lose your cool, or you revert back to old patterns, or maybe you let this person come back in and maybe you let them get away with things again. So this is something you're going to have to be clear on before this person comes back. You need to really sit with yourself and go, okay, I know that 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 if anybody from my past reaches out or comes back to me, anybody that I would want, at least, this is who I am. This is what I stand for. This is what I will tolerate. This is what I will not tolerate. These are my boundaries. Like, you just need to have a really, really good sense of yourself and your self-worth, your values, what you want moving forward and what you don't want. And as long as you have all of that figured out, then you should be okay. This person comes back and, you don't have to be a dick. You don't have to be an ass. I mean, like, hey, you're cool, calm, and collected. They come back and it's like, all right, well, here you are. You're back. Here I am. We're talking. So now what? Let them show you. Let them show you. Well, I've changed. I've been over here leveling up, working on me. What about you? What have you been doing? What have you been up to? And if they're just, someone from your past, like just rolling up like a stray cat, because they don't have anything, it's like they're just crawling, they just came crawling back to you. It's like, well, that's not enough. Like, you've either coming back to me because you fucking transformed your whole life, just like I've transformed my whole life. That's different. That's a completely different story. Somebody shows up in your life and says, hey, during our time apart, I changed. And this is what's changed. And they should be able to tell you. They should be able to be very, very specific in telling you what's changed. I changed this. I realized that. This has changed in my life. I came to this realization. I came to this conclusion. Like, this person should be able to tell you what all changed in their life and why. Why did that change? Why did you become this new person? What motivated your change? What was happening to you? Did you just wake up and decide, hey, I want to be a different person today? Or did something else happen to you? And what's the reason for why you're here? Like, I'm just curious. Like, what's the reason that you're seeking me out again? And you don't have to be an asshole, and you don't have to be like, you don't have to say it in a way that's like, you can say it in a way that communicates curiosity is what I'm trying to say. Like, genuine curiosity. It's like, I'm just curious. Like, I wasn't expecting to hear from you. I'm just wondering why, like, what made you want to reach out to me, like, and get curious about it, and just stay in that place of curiosity, right? And use your intuition to sniff and smell out the bullshit or not. If somebody's lying to you and they're bullshitting you, you'll know. Your heart, your intuition will tell you, man, they're full of shit. They haven't changed. They're telling me what I want to hear, or they're not telling me enough information, or something doesn't fit, something doesn't feel right, like something is off. Somebody who's changed and they're confident and they know that they've changed and they don't have any fucking thing to prove to you, that's a different energy. Someone who just walks up to you and says, look, in the past, me and you, we had ABC, XYZ happen. And I just wanted you to know that ABC, blah, blah, blah. I'm not here. I don't want anything, I just want you to know. And it's like somebody who knows that they know that they've changed, in my opinion, is somebody who can come up to you and confidently give you information without expectation attached to it. Like, they're not coming to you with hopes or expectations. Oh my gosh, like, I'm going to, are they going to take me back? Are they going to hear me out? Are they going to, scream at me, yell at me? Are they going to tell me to go fuck myself? Like, what's going to happen? Like, No, this is somebody who doesn't care what you think. Like if they're going to come, they're going to reach out to you. They're going to reach out to you confidently. They're like, look, you know, this is what I have to say, and you either accept it or you reject it. And they're not, you know, they're okay with either one. They're okay if you accept what they have to say. They're okay if you reject what they have to say. They're okay if you speak to them. They're okay if you never speak to them. That's somebody who's changed. That's somebody who's confident. You know, they have nothing to fucking lose. And, you know, if somebody came to me from my past with that energy, I would be curious and I would hear them out. Like, okay, well, damn, you're coming to me. You're coming to me confidently. You're not coming at me like you want something from me or you have anything to prove. You're just coming to communicate. And you're doing so, you're taking a risk, and you know, you're not worried about my response. You're doing this, it's almost like they're doing it for them. And I can respect that because that's when I know that the change is real. When you do something for you and you're not doing it for somebody else, that's a different type of energy. Because I've done that. And you know, where I have reached out to people in my past. And it wasn't about me wanting something from that person. It was just me doing it for me. Whether I was giving myself closure or whether I was trying to right any type of wrongs that I had done to somebody in my past, and I was wanting to take responsibility for it or apologize for it, whatever I was doing. It was a decision that I made, and I was going to take that action no matter what. And it had nothing to do with their response, whether they accepted it or whether they rejected it. I didn't give a fuck. So that's just my 2 cents about that. So we talked about being bold and making the first move here. There's one last energy that's attached to this that I didn't think that I mentioned, and then I'll close this out here. But the last energy attached to the being bold and make a first move here is not waiting. Some of you guys, again, so maybe coming full circle here. Maybe I did mention it. I don't remember. The divine is saying, give yourself permission, just like I said, literally what I just said with my own example. Don't wait. Don't wait for an excuse to take your life, to take control of your life, power and authority of your life. The dragon energy, this is power and strength. Don't wait for an excuse or don't wait for a reason to take power and control over your life. You have that power and control now. You have it now. Don't wait. So whatever you want to do, be bold and make the first move. If you want new love, then go get it. If there's somebody from your past that maybe you're still hung up on, or you're still wondering if there's something that maybe could have done different or changed, then don't wait. You make the first move. Don't wait for them. And if your ego gets involved, it's like, yeah, but they did this and this. It's like, look, I get it. That's you giving your power away again. You know? Doesn't matter who did what. Doesn't matter if they did wrong or you didn't wrong. All that matters is if this is what you want, then you be bold and make the first move. If you want that person from your past and you haven't heard from them, even if they fucked you over, but you still want them, be bold and make the first move. That's what this is saying. The divine is saying, no matter what you want, stop waiting. Be bold, make the first move. With one caveat, and that one caveat being everything that I have said throughout this reading. So you may have to listen to it one or two more times, or at least the parts of it that resonate with you. And I know it's kind of long. I'm looking over at the timer, an hour and 20 minutes now. But be bold, make the first move. And at the very least, no matter what, you will have proven a level of confidence, a level of authority, and a level of independence. You'll be proving to yourself that you had the ability to do things that maybe you didn't think you had the ability to do. And by doing so, you'll realize that maybe there were things that you thought you wanted, maybe there were things that you didn't, that you thought you wanted, and some things that you thought that you wanted that you didn't want. That's what I meant to say. So the bottom line is, by being bold and making the first move, you can't lose. As long as you do everything within the energy of what I've explained. And if you're doing it within the energy of what I've explained, then you can't lose. You'll never lose if you learn. This is only going to make you better, only going to make you more powerful, it's only going to make you stronger, it's only going to give your life more clarity. It's going to give you more confidence. So whatever the outcome is of whatever you do here, if you do it, and if you do it based on the way I've described it in this reading, you're just going to become a really, really badass, a more badass version of yourself than you can imagine. So no matter what happens, you're still going to come out on top. You're still going to come out having added value to your life because you proved to yourself that you're capable of doing things that this older version of you wasn't doing. So the you that's listening to this now, that's just hearing it, that's that old version of you. The you that puts this message into practice, that's the new version of you that you're about to become. And when you become that new version of you, then new opportunities, new people, everything in your life is going to change because you just leveled up. Because you chose to level up. You chose to do something different than what you've been doing. You got out of the insanity cycle of doing the same thing and expecting a different result. You're like, no, I'm going to do something different. This is you doing the different thing. And the divine rewards those who do the different things. So that's the reading that I have for you guys. Hopefully this resonates for you guys. Hopefully it does. Hopefully it doesn't. And come join me when I go live again for a free live tarot reading or channeled message reading. I hope to see you guys there. And as always, love and light. Hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.